Hi, everyone, and welcome to our PBC webinar series. I'm Josh Radbod, co-founder and CEO of the PBC Conference, the B2B conference for payments, banking, and compliance in the cannabis industry. I have here with me today Terry Mendez, CEO of Safe Harbor Institutional. Terry, thank you so much for joining me and for being here today. Can you give a brief introduction on yourself and the company, and then we can jump into some questions?
Fantastic, Josh. Thank you for having me. Again, Terry Mendez. I'm the CEO of Safe Harbor Financial. And Safe Harbor is really in the business of helping existing and new cannabis banking programs bank profitably, compliantly. And we have over almost a decade, more than a decade actually, of experience in doing this. And so that's our core business. And then over the last year or two, we've spun up professional services, private equity, and family office lending programs, all in a effort to make sure that we're helping our cannabis financial institutions keep their deposits and make those deposits as sticky as possible.
Excellent. Fantastic. Terry, thank you. Thank you for that intro. So let's dive into the questions, my friend. So, what is the biggest misconception about Safe Harbor Institutional?
Um, Many believe that we compete with financial institutions. We were once a CUSO, a division of a credit union, and we spun off back in 2022. So we don't compete with financial institutions. We actually provide the infrastructure that enables financial institutions to profitably, compliantly operate and grow their cannabis banking programs. And so I'm glad to rid ourselves of the past, and really we're here to help people be successful.
Fantastic. So, just to reiterate, Safe Harbor Institutional is not competing with banks and credit unions.
We don't have a bank charter. We don't hold deposits. We don't loan off of our balance sheet. We facilitate all of the work that goes into compliantly banking, everything from Anti-Money Laundering, Bank Secrecy Act, Enhanced Due Diligence, Know Your Customer, Know Your Customer's Customer, onboarding to lending to professional services, everything that you need in order to have a successful cannabis banking program, particularly because, this industry is as a grassroots industry. So when you're putting up your first tile and say, I'm going to accept a cannabis deposit, you want a company like Safe Harbor in your back pocket who brings instant credibility to your program.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Terry. So, second question. So, what exactly is Safe Harbor Institutional? I know we have Safe Harbor Financial as
Mhm.
the brand, so to speak, but Safe Harbor Institutional. Tell me a little bit more about that specific component of the business.
Well, people had a misconception. Safe Harbor Financial, Safe Harbor Institutional. Institutional is about the services we provide to financial institutions versus Safe Harbor. People thought of it as the services that we provide to cannabis operators. Under Safe Harbor Institutional, we bring together the experienced cannabis banking professionals, proven processes, technologies that enable workflows, and operating structures to help the FI establish, strengthen, and scale their programs. We've built this as an operating model that we've proven out over 11 years of continuously compliantly banking cannabis operations. We've now spanned over $36 billion in depository transactions. We operate in over 41 states and territories that have legal cannabis programs. And so think about Safe Harbor Institutional as the part of our organization that is focused on the success of FIs.
So, Safe Harbor Institutional is, of course, not competing with banks and credit unions. You guys are actually helping banks and credit unions scale and operate their current cannabis banking programs.
You got it perfect.
Perfect. Fantastic. So, speaking of scaling and operating a cannabis banking program, what challenges emerge as a bank or credit union either is new coming into the space or they have a program and they're trying to scale it?
So existing cannabis banking, there are several challenges that Safe Harbor helps to solve. For example, successful onboarding. Our workflows enhance your customer acquisition efforts. We provide regulatory support, And we have successfully navigated over 25 regulatory audits and have ourselves established ourselves as the gold standard for compliance. And then you have the lending program. Financial institutions lose accounts when they can't meet the depositors' borrowing needs. Now, we've partnered with private equity. We've partnered with family offices. We solve this. Just last month, we issued 5 SBA-type loans, something that is unheard of in cannabis banking. And then we deal with profitability. Our pricing flexes with you. So when you win a new cannabis depositor, there's a price for that. And when you lose, you don't pay us. You pay us for our performance. You don't pay us for our software. So think about Safe Harbor Institutional as providing centralized infrastructure, specialized expertise, consistent workflows, and added capacity to reduce duplication and improve execution. You want, as an FI, greater visibility and stronger documentation to help you manage your compliance, your operations, your regulatory risks in a consistent manner.
Fantastic. So saying that back, you're helping with onboarding a new cannabis operator at a cannabis-friendly bank or credit union. You're helping the cannabis-friendly bank or credit union operate their program. And then the third piece, it sounds like, helping the bank or credit union stay in compliance as they operate their program. Is that
100%? And then add to that lending, and then add to that our pricing flexes with your growth. So if you have 20 clients, you're going to pay something that allows you to be profitable, as opposed to you have, thousands of cannabis operators on your platform, right? We flex based on the deposit base that you have.
fantastic? So as we scale, you scale with us.
100%. So we're going to be in it together. That's what partners are.
Fantastic. So how does Safe Harbor Institutional support the institution's relationship with its cannabis customers? I think you just touched on it, but maybe you could provide some additional clarity.
The FI owns the banking relationship. They retain the deposits. They have account authority. They oversee program governance. So how Safe Harbor Institutional supports that relationship, it really depends on how we're engaged. More than half of Safe Harbor's team have direct experience in the cannabis industry. Most financial institutions can't say that they've actually pushed the buttons and maybe trimmed or cultivated or run a dispensary, or like myself, I was the CEO of a multi-state operator. So we have that expertise on top of the banking. We have a professional service team that supports your depositor's success. Your depositor's going through some troubled times. Our professional service team not only will identify that, but provide services to help them turn the corner. And then we have a solutions team, and we provide solutions like Safe Harbor's pooled employer plan, amongst others, that are really providing a Safe Harbor advantage to your depositors, creating that stickiness. This pooled employer plan that we have, fully transparent, fully disclosed, every single participant, every single service provider to the plan has signed off to say they're willing to accept cannabis employees and the related deposits. So we're creating things every day that allow banks to show they really care about their depositor.
So this is great because if I'm a bank or credit union, Safe Harbor Institutional is helping me get that client to begin with, and then help that client stay with me. I like the word sticky that you use, which I think banks and credit unions really, really like as well. So next question, how does Safe Harbor Institutional fit into an institution's operating model?
Great question. Our model is designed to meet the institution exactly where they are. It's a module engagement model, so we can plug in to support selected areas of your program while working alongside your existing people, your team, your technology, your systems. Our most comprehensive engagement, our dedicated people, our team, complement your operating environment. You're using the Safe Harbor people, processes, workflows, and technologies that, again, have been regulatorily tested more than 25 times over the last 11 years. Your financial institution chooses the level of operational support that fits your strategy, your needs. You retain your program authority, you retain your oversight.
Okay, so what you're saying is it doesn't really matter where I am in my cannabis banking program journey. Safe Harbor Institutional adapts to where I currently am and helps set me up for growth.
100%. If you are new to cannabis banking and you're an FI that wants to jump into cannabis banking, you have two choices. You can build it from scratch yourself and take all of the risk associated with design risk, development risk, deployment risk, hiring the right people, training the right people, picking the right software, using the software correctly, and then regulatorily having the right documentation to support the success of your program. That's a risk you take. And the cost of that is anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million before you get your first cannabis deposit. Before you get your deposit. Now remember, this is not 2015, where if you build it, they will come. Every cannabis operator has a bank. And while every cannabis company tells you they have the greatest weed, every financial institution has the greatest customer service. So you must differentiate. And this is a growing market. Just closed 2025 around $38 billion, and the projections are north of $75 billion by 2030. So it's also an incredibly interesting growth market for regional financials and credit unions to participate in.
Excellent points. Thank you, Terry. So, what would you say, which financial institutions can benefit from Safe Harbor Institutional? I think I know the answer, but please.
Well, Safe Harbor is a strong fit whenever an institution wants to create a cannabis banking program or advance an existing program that might be a little stale. How do you compete against folks that have capabilities that are beyond your capabilities, right? What are your current resources? And can your current infrastructure really support accepting cannabis deposits or expanding cannabis deposits? So for an established program, that might mean assistance with onboarding as you grow. That might mean augmenting your current team that might be stretched by that due diligence process, performing monitoring and documentation requirements, implementing your workflows or our workflows into your work stream, supporting you with audits and examinations, and then, more broadly, as you want to expand, allowing you to expand and leverage what we built in 41 states and territories. So if you're a financial institution and perhaps you're in Michigan, but you want to and have the ability and the charter to expand past Michigan, we can help you get there.
Fantastic. So, understanding all of this, let's say I'm a new cannabis-friendly bank or credit union, and I'm approached with, hey, I need to build out a compliance team, an onboarding team. All of these services that Safe Harbor Institutional can take care of for me that could cost me $500,000 to potentially north of that to get started, or I could work with, an institution like Safe Harbor Institutional to help me take care of those expenses and services right off the bat. Is that right?
Back in the day, I did a lot of consulting back in the day, and people hired IBM because if you hired IBM, you wouldn't get fired, even if IBM messed up. That was kind of like a thing people said, right? You hired Deloitte and Touche or Arthur Andersen or PricewaterhouseCoopers. Why? Because if they screwed up, you wouldn't get fired. When you do it yourself, there's operational risk that you own 100% yourself. When you work with an expert who's known by regulators across the country as being the gold standard, you have the ability to leverage that same concept. I'm going with IBM, I'm going with Safe Harbor. They have a platform that has been tested, tried and true, and has been working for more than a decade. Why would I want to build it until I even know that we're going to be successful in this space?
Excellent. So for the newer financial institutions in the space, you take care of the operational risks and the upfront expenses. And then for scaling institutions that have already gotten into the industry, maybe they've been in 1, 2, 3+ years. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and how Safe Harbor Institutional helps there?
When you're scaling, you've built a certain pipe and it can handle so much activity. And then to expand that pipe is quite expensive. Think about a pipe under the ground, right? And you have to dig it up and put a new pipe that's bigger. It takes time, it's expensive, there's training involved. And in the cannabis industry, when you have somebody in onboarding and onboarding gets stuck, you lose that customer. Your customer acquisition team got the right lead, put them through the right system, and now they're stuck in the system. And if they don't fund the account, that effort is lost, right? And so in the beginning, throwing people at problems is usually what people do. And then they try to automate a little bit, right? And then they say, what about India? What about outsourcing? What about putting the problem somewhere else, and how can I manage it? Let's start with that. Let's go with the low-cost center of excellence that knows what they're doing for a decade, as opposed to trying to dig up the pipe and expand the pipe, put the pipe back in, and hope you did it correctly and nothing breaks in the process.
Perfect analogy that I certainly understood, and I know our viewers will too. So, next question here. What gives financial institutions confidence in Safe Harbor Institutional?
Look, Safe Harbor was founded, designed, developed for the specific purpose of helping other financial institutions be successful. Over the last 11 years, we've stood up 17 different financial institution programs that have been successful. We have done that profitably. We have done that compliantly. Our platform has processed over $36 billion of depository transactions. We've facilitated banking programs across all 41 states and territories where it's legal. We've mentioned many times that we've gone through a number of audits without a blemish. We have that cannabis experience. We have that banking experience. We have the history that supports our confidence.
Thank you very much, Terry. So I think we're at our last and final question here. So what would you say to a financial institution considering stepping into cannabis banking?
I would start with a very clear assessment of where the institution is today, where you want it to go, and whether its current operating models can support the next phase of your strategy. Cannabis banking can create meaningful opportunities for deposit growth, stronger commercial relationships, when the foundation is properly in place. For institutions that are just entering the market, that foundation should be established on the outset. You don't wing it. Regulators don't like winging it, right? For institutions with existing programs, the opportunity might also be just strengthening what you've already created successfully and addressing what is limiting your future growth. With the right capacity, consistency, specialized expertise, financial institutions can manage risk effectively, serve cannabis operators well, pursue the opportunity with a greater degree of confidence that ultimately the program will be profitable and compliant.
Terry, thank you very much for allowing me to do this interview with you today. Terry, where's the best place, or how do people get a hold of you? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
I'd love to point people to our redesigned website, shfinancial.org. And I always tell people you can call me direct. My cell phone number is 631-418-7763. I've been giving out my cell phone number now for a year. Only 2 people have called it. I'm quite surprised. I look forward to the conversation because we're ready to serve FIs every single day.
Fantastic. Terry, thank you so much. Thank you for participating in the PBC conference. We look forward to seeing Terry and the rest of the team at the event next month. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
You too. Can't wait to see you. Take care.